So along with the screws that you have to take out around the entire exterior, you're also going to have to take out the handle for the window here, as well as the mirror. This screws out. You can see little notches here, just counterclockwise. If I had a light, I'd be able to shine it on there and show you. So I've already got everything apart and actually have the locking mechanism back together. It's easier to show here on the passenger side because you don't have the little mirror toggle to deal with. This door comes apart pretty easily. You just have to look along the edges here where you have screws. It's going to go all the way along the edge. I think there's about 10 or so screws that go in there. You also have the mechanism here for the window, and this only has a little Allen bolt in there. I have everything bagged, so I know where everything goes and back together. That's pretty easy to go back together. And then you have two bolts where you have the panel, trim panel that slides down. This is a little tricky to get off here. The locking mechanism is actually slides off, slides on. There's also a locking bolt underneath it, right down here. So it comes apart pretty easily. What you want to focus on when you actually have this apart and the mechanism, let's see if I get a good shot of it in there. It's kind of hard to steady this, but you can see here, this is, if I could point it out, this right here is the door opening rod. So actuating the door on the outside, this slides up and down and it'll kick the plate open. And then right next to it here is your actual lock rod. These are a little tricky to get off sometimes, but really what you do, you just slide this, push this plastic piece towards you, and then you could just push this rod out. For me, I found it's easier just to leave on the lower side here, these connected, when you're just taking this mechanism out. And then the one bolt that gets this carriage out is right here. You can only get one hand back here at a time. One big tip, so you don't have to remove the window. When you're doing this and replacing the carriage or taking the carriage out, make sure the window is fully down. When this window is up, it actually blocks access to your carriage here. So I've already taken this apart and put it back together. I took it out of the car just to show you because I think it's important. It's hard for me just to describe it just by saying it's the carriage, but this is where the locking mechanism, the actual cylinder would be housed. You see there's one bolt on the back that bolts actually to the door, and a little bracket in there. But this is, as you can see, you have your handle and your lock there. So everything's already switched out on this, but there's just two screws right here and here. They drop out and this whole cylinder comes out. With this type of mechanism right here, I just replaced what was originally on this cylinder here. I had like a flat metal piece, but this is the actual, this little metal L bracket is the right piece for the door. So I just replaced this off the original, and all it is a little C-clip here that you take off with a screwdriver, and this slides off. You can notice the orientation where the top of your tumbler is right here. Your metal flat goes on the top. There's this little clip right here. It's like a C-clip that you just put down. It guides the locking mechanism into the housing here. So I just wanted to show that, just so you know what I'm talking about. Just wanted to show you the bracket housing really quick, where your door handle and your lock go into. It just slides right in. You actually put it in and try to slide it like this, if that makes sense. Take it and just slide it up like that. And make sure you have the gasket that stays in place here. Quick note before this goes back together. This is your lock rod. What you're going to want to do is, in the tumbler mechanism, you're going to want to place this edge first, and then there's a little plastic like clip washer that goes on the bottom. You have to put this end in first and then clip it into the bottom, so it should be oriented something like this.